Good morning. We may not be open all hours, but we are getting there. But first, here we are on a Monday morning once again, and how quickly the time flies. So, some good news to start with, cautious good news that is, and you may have heard this on the news that the government is considering the reopening of churches from next Monday, which is the 15th of June. We're going to have to wait and see what decisions are taken by our own diocese about this, and also what measures need to be put in place prior to opening. Now, before we all get carried away, the opening of our churches, of course, is just for private prayer only at this stage, at any rate. But it is a hopeful sign, and we will definitely keep you up to speed with what's going to happen in our churches as soon as we know. Clearly, it's going to be important for us all that the correct precautions are in place before our buildings are open again, and that we visibly display what will be expected by those who visit our churches for private prayer. Now, this seems to be the first step on the road to a resumption of, inverted commas, normal church life. It's only the first step along the road at the moment. Nothing else is going to change, but it is a hopeful step in the right direction, and we are very pleased indeed to be able to tell you about it. Countdown. Now, Katie Boughton has had lots of fun over the past week and been very busy with the countdown puzzle. Katie writes about the letters for Saturday. I found a 9-letter word, tag flower. Ever heard of a tag flower? Well, if you haven't, stand by to be enlightened. It is apparently a wild daisy-like flower with edible leaves, and Katie also found, just to add icing to the cake, 112 smaller words. And she also found 122 words for promenade. Well done to Katie. Now, yesterday's word was amendable, and this was discovered by Cilla Franks and Anne Robertson, and Anne incidentally discovered another 73 words lurking in those letters. From letters to numbers, Neil de Villiers, Keith Hammond and Hugh Crouch have thankfully supplied us with a solution to the numbers quiz for Sunday. That's yesterday, of course. Neil and Keith took the same route. I'm not going to go through all of that. It looks far too convoluted for a bear of simple brain. Hugh reached the same destination by another way, equally complicated. It was, apparently, so the experts tell me, a tough one. And maybe this caught out some of our other regulars. So, hats off then to Neil, to Keith and Hugh, our own three wise men. And so to today's puzzles. Now, we rather like the letters. Today they spell Clanberry. So I'll read those out nice and slowly, because I know some of you are dependent on correct enunciation. C-L-A-N, that's the clan bit, as in Scottish, and then berry, as in hat, B-E-R-E-T. But what is the solution to the conundrum? And the numbers are, today, 50, 25, 8, 7, 5 and 2, and your target, dear people, is 796. So go at it with a will. Little plea from us in the bunker next. If it's possible for those of you who have not yet completed our questionnaire to do so by the end of this week, that would be utterly brilliant. And if you need another copy, perhaps because you've spilt coffee over yours or the cat's been sick on it or something, then do let us know, and we will rush one to you as fast as we possibly can. Those of you who are doing the questionnaire by link, simply hover your cursor over the blue letters and click on that link, and hopefully you'll get taken to the questionnaire. And others of you, as I've just said, are dependent on paper copies. So whichever way you do it, we are just happy to get the results, really. So thank you very much indeed. Now, to an alphabet of church life. We are nearly there. We have X today. X marks the spot. And we're quite sure that you've been on tenterhooks waiting to hear what we would come up with for X. Well, X not only marks the spot, it also stands for exciting. Stretching things a bit there, but exciting is better than xylophone, and we don't have one of those in the benefice in any case. Besides which, even in lockdown, our church communities are an exciting thing to be part of. We have lots to be excited about, from the unity we have shared in lockdown, to the message of hope we proclaim in our faith, to the future that awaits us as we come out of lockdown, and to the sheer joy of being part of a vibrant community. There's nothing quite like it, and it's all very exciting. The long arm of coincidence. Eleanor Bliss got in touch to say that she spotted a 1995 page from the Kent Messenger, which Ed Adams had posted online, and this reported a service on the Trinity Sunday service of that year. The prayers then were led by, well, the one and only Tim Monkton, just as yesterday's were, though not in his garden on that occasion and not with Mary. So that's a little interesting coincidence. Well spotted, Eleanor, and thank you, Ed, for posting it. Wednesday Lunch Club is next. Now, you may remember that we asked Mary Monkton to let us know when she began the Wednesday Lunch Club. And I have to say, actually, our guess that we hazarded was not far off. For Mary tells us, I think I started the Wednesday Lunch Club in 1990. Tim and I were then living in Elmfield. And I thought to myself that it must be very lonely, living alone and eating alone. And so the Wednesday Lunch Club was born. My neighbours lent me chairs and lots of help, and the menu was roughly the same as it is today. Soup, rolls, pâté and cheese. The ladies who came for lunch, and they were mainly ladies in those days, offered to make cakes, which was lovely. And the late Peggy Meekins, who had been on the stage in her youth, began the tradition of reciting a poem, which we try to carry on today. When Tim and I moved to our present house in 1993, the lunch club moved to what is now the back of Prezzo, which was then, of course, the old Lemon Tree. And it stayed there for a couple of years until the church hall was purchased, when we began meeting where we still do today. And we'll do again, says Mary, once we are allowed to. Nothing like hope and optimism. Good. So this year then, Wednesday Lunch Club celebrates its 30th anniversary, which is a tremendous achievement. And Mary, bless her, has been at the helm all that time. So thank you, Mary, and well done. And long may Wednesday Lunch Club, and Sunday Lunch Club for that matter, continue. Right, we come to our worship. Now, worship today consisting of prayer during the day and common worship night prayer. You will find leaflets for both those services attached to your Viral Times this morning. And it's online, the services are online on YouTube and our website. 7 o'clock for our prayer during the day, so that's up and running already, and 7 o'clock this evening for common worship night prayer. Then in Viral Times this morning we have our usual thought for the day sequence, consisting of a reading from Luke's Gospel, in this case a little reflection on the passage, and prayers for today. Contact points, of course. The usual contact points are there: Helping in Tenterden, Refuge, and our ministry team. So do remember, as we've said all along, right through lockdown, you are only an email or a phone call away from help and assistance. So don't hesitate to get in touch. Okay, well, that brings us almost to the end, and we conclude, as we always do, with our time-honoured phrase: keep safe, keep praying, keep connected, and we'll soon be open all hours. Well, we are really now.